Now, what I found interesting about the world you created is very similar to ours. And I'm not a huge reader of sci-fi, but it seems to me a lot of times sci-fi writers and movie makers create these very barren worlds. Why did you choose to make it so like ours?
Well, because for one, we have to survive, right? We have to be able to live, we have to be able to breathe. What I did make it very impossible almost to find food. Where they landed was nothing but grass, miles and miles, meters and meters, whatever you want to call it, kilometers of grass, nothing but grass, from horizon to horizon. A few trees here and there. There was no water, there was no rivers, there's no lakes, there's almost no bugs, nothing when they first landed. So I made it very difficult for them. In fact, when I made it, I was thinking, how am I going to get them out of this? Because I didn't plan it like some authors do. They write a synopsis how they want it to go.
Yeah.
I kind of did it more like Stephen King. I just sat down behind my computer and
started writing,
just imagining it up, and then I sorted it out later. But yeah, it was a bit of a challenge. So that's how I did it. I challenged myself to put them in a situation and figure a different way to get them out of it.
I kind of did that. Some of the people in my book, I inadvertently, because plotter pantser, I'm more of a pantser too. And so they had to go spy on Carlisle in the 1300s. Their arch nemesis showed up. Well, of course, he's going to shut the city gates. He can't not when he knows that the people he's seeking are in the city. And then I just went, what have I done? I've written myself into a corner. I've written them into a corner. But the thing with historical fiction is I like it to be very accurate, whether I'm reading it or writing it. And so by dumb luck, and this has happened to me many times, I started researching and I discovered something in history that solved the problem for me. So I won't tell you what it is, but there is a way out of the city of Carlisle and in England. And so when we visited there, I asked the ladies at the tourist center, and they're like, that exists? We didn't know that it exists. As a search and rescue, how long did you do that for?
20 years.
20 years, and you were flying some of the search and rescue planes too, right? Yeah. What incidents stand out to you?
Well, most of the flying that we did were false alarms.
Really?
It's called an ELT, an emergency landing transmitter. An airplane sometimes can land hard and it'll set it off. And because the signal goes up to the satellites, and it's constant, it's just a beeping sound is what it is. But it's there all the time unless it gets shut off or the battery goes dead. And so, but it can interfere with other signals. And so, that are real. And so we have to find them and get them to shut off. So, I have been on real missions where your airplane did crash and people were not alive, on the ground. That's what we're trained to do, is to find missing aircraft and sometimes missing people. We've done that before. We do that from the air and we do that from the ground. I've done both. So I lead a team out into the woods and look for missing children that have wandered off from campgrounds or whatever, that kind of thing. So yes, we've done that too. So.
Okay, and I have to ask you a very serious question. I'm living in the Appalachians. Are Dogmen and Bigfoot really out there?
I've never seen one.
So you will neither confirm nor deny, huh? Exactly. Probably wise.
With 20 meters to go, Caitlin could hear the heavy breathing and brush of the grass being pushed aside as the animal gained on her. Ahead, Miranda stood with her hand on the handle, ready to close the hatch, tears running down her cheeks as she screamed for Caitlin to hurry. Everything seemed to be moving in slow motion. Miranda turned her face away. 10 meters. I'm not going to make it. Please let this be over with quickly. The hatch closed.
And it takes a long time to find out what happened. Remind me, is Miranda the cook?
Miranda was the xenobiologist. She's the one who's
she's a biologist.
Whose husband was killed next to Chris.
That's right. That's right. It's too bad Chris isn't here. I found it kind of funny reading through the book about Chris and Jay, because one of his close coworkers is Jay. And so the two of them, they also happen to work in quantum. So I was disappointed he couldn't be here to talk to you about the quantum you talk about in your book. I find your portrayal of women interesting. I'm curious if you get any pushback on this. I like it because they're normal. Like some of them are braver, some of them are less brave. You know, Miranda's terrified. And so much, I think, especially in sci-fi, but so much of what we've gotten for 30 years is all the women are tough and strong and fearless and able to fight in heels and leather bras. Like, I don't know who walks around like that, but apparently if you're preparing to fight, you do. Was that conscious, or is that just, that's how people are, so that's how you wrote them?
I tried to make it realistic,
Mhm.
you know, as much as I could, you know, real people.
Right,
People have emotions. People are not
Yep.
all strong. Not people are not all weak.
right.
You have leaders, you have followers,
Mhm.
and that's how I tried to portray it. You know, I
Yeah.
do a little of everything. You know, like the one who's not mentioned in my reading, Sandy. She was the cook.
Right.
She has a real hard time with mental health because she was abused in a previous marriage in the book,
Mhm.
and she's really she's traumatized.
Right.
So and she traumatizes very easily.
Mhm.
So that's portrayed, you know, in the book. The doctor in there, she's a very steady person, but she has her worries because she can't fix people on this alien planet because the bugs are different. You know, the germs are
Mhm.
different, and her medicines don't work on them. So, and with Ron the engineer, whom they do have a somewhat close relationship, a developing relationship,
Mhm.
she couldn't fix his arm. He had a steam burn. It
Right.
got infected while they were on the planet, and she can't fix it. So she has her concerns also. Ron, being the engineer, he's tough, he's strong, he's kind of bullheaded, but like a lot of engineers. But the thing is he's worried too because he may lose an arm. And,
Yes.
what's a man without an arm that he's used to using it all the time? That's
Especially in this world where
exactly.